Alright, so now kind of working on the speakers, mids and highs. They come with these little plugs. So with the crossover you can hook up the mid-range and the tweeter. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of putting them in these little baffles I got. Sticking them in with some caulking stuff just to seal them up. So I also zip tied them, are all really clean, and inside they're pretty clean too. So just these little connectors, and then it goes ahead and slides into my little baffle here that I made about a year or two back. And there's the crossover on there, and so I just got to go on the back side, wire it up, and plug it in. So easy peasy. And there's the pair of speakers right there. So just keep on soldering and making nice stuff, but that's what I'm working on right now. Alright, so I'm installing my 6x9s back into the speaker baffles, into the piece I made for my two-door Jeep Cherokee. There is a video of me making this about 2 years ago. The quality isn't too good, but if any of you have the two-door Jeep Cherokees, I show you pretty much how you can make this piece right here. So you can put 6x9s in the back. It's pretty sweet. It's just a piece of MDF that I shaped to bolt into the side of the car. Now I got the speaker baffle in here with the plug made up. And what I'm going to do is I got some little T-nuts like I used to use to bolt my subwoofers in. T-nutting these in with Allen bolts so that they don't come back out, and then they're really in there good. That's the only way to do it. So I'm just going to wire these up, and then we should be set. So all I got to do is just get two hands and plug it all in, but you get the point. And then I'll show you what it looks like. I'll put it in real clean. Alright, so we got it all bolted in. You can see it looks really sweet with those Allens. Black on black. On the back side, there's your baffle. All plugged in now. It's about as clean as I can get it. But good clearance. No air leaks. I can't get it to really make any air come out. Even if you press on the thumb here, you can see there's barely any air moving in and out, because that would be sucking in and out a lot faster. It's got some negative pressure in it right now. So, very sweet. So that's ready to go back in the car and get wired up with the Sky High wire. Run it to whatever amp I get from Santa, which I think I already know what it is, but it's getting a little dark out, but just send it in the floor, and I think it's already making a pretty good difference just by putting these little mat pieces, and then in the center there, that's the GT mat. So I think we're ready to start running wires and all that good stuff, all the fun stuff, and then reinstalling stuff. I also carpeted this little area under the seat. It gets folded up. I'll show you. So you will see that when the seat gets folded up and I'm underneath the seat. So went ahead and carpeted it. It is sound deadened underneath. The only parts that not getting sound deadened is this back half where the speaker box sits. It has a sheet of MDF that sits across there, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a difference. I'll show you guys what that looks like when I get there. So just a little update for now. I guess I'm going to next work on this little rat's nest of wiring here and pull it all out, because we're starting fresh. So that's going to be the next thing, pulling the dash apart. So let's get to that, and then I'll check in later, guys. Alright, so I'm back at it again this morning. Last night kind of just cleaned out all the wires from my little rast rat nest, sorry. Kind of organize things, kind of. Just a few little wires that I haven't decided to deal with yet. Everything stereo related is out. There's not one wire in the whole vehicle for any speakers whatsoever. Got to repair some of my factory lighting, and then I'm gonna start putting my relays back in so all my remote wires will work, and other little things. I got these really cool relay connectors, and the wire gauge is pretty thick. I'm pretty stoked for what I paid. So, and then here's the sky high wire, which I'll be using to wire up a lot of things. So, gonna get to that. And then also last night, this is the amp rack I had pulled out. Why is this not focusing? As you can see, it's just like a straight up piece. The box sits right in this area. Back here, I cut all the carpet off. That's where the batteries sit, down there, and this is where the monoblock amp will sit, and then I'm going to have the 4-channel angles right here. So that's kind of a view of it. Really ugly right now. But what I gotta do is I'm gonna put a top back on it so it sits flush against the back seat, and then we'll recarpet it, make it look like this side, all nice and carpeted. So that's today's goal. First, I think I'm gonna tackle some of the wiring issues and get the solder gun out and hit it hard. So we'll check in when we're a little closer to getting something done today. Alright, so here's what we got going so far. I have this little panel in here. It ends up right there. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but it's got the voltmeter. I got these switches to turn on and off the amps. And then I have this switch to turn on and off the voltmeter. This switch to turn on and off the cooling fans on the fan on the amps. So I went ahead and rewired it. It's kind of tough to make all this stuff fit in here and be clean, but I've done the best I can. Basically what we got going is have this relay and relay harness, and there's a main power coming in. This main power goes to this switch, which the voltmeter is hooked up to. So the voltmeter gets direct power for when it gets flipped on, and then the power runs to the relay. Relay is switched on by my remote wire from my head unit. So that will turn on the relay. It's got power. The relay is grounded with the voltmeter through this black wire. And then the relay has output that goes, where is that? That goes yellow to this switch, which is the on and off for the fans. So the fans have power through switch, and then it also sends power to these switches for my amps. So it sends remote wire power, all from the relay, which is completely switched on by the head unit. So everything won't work until the head unit's on, except for the voltmeter, which it should always come on when we actually have power in the car. That's wiring right there. Those sets of wires run down. I have this one hanging, positive, negative, which is going to go to a little distribution block. This is positive, negative to my head unit, which will go to a distribution block. Same one to receive power. And then I've strung this set of wires, which is the fan power and the 2 remote wires, and they're going to get strung all the way to the rear of the car where the amps are going to be. So right now everything's really messy, but once it's all done, that should tuck in there really nice, back where it belongs, and then we can get the trim pieces back on top. So that'll all be tucked in, and then I gotta continue cleaning up the rest of this wire, and just keep going from there. So that's that. Alright, so here's the Amp HO mic. I spent most of the day today working on this. That's the amp rack. It looks great.
Make